You have just been tuned into the Streets Session with your boy Firahs and
Joe MK.
Alright, listen, well, everybody. Listen, we're here now, World FM 90.4 with your boy Firahs. Obviously, MK producing today because he's got too many kids at home, so we don't want that background sound today. But we've got one of the hottest duos coming out of America right now. And you know what's cool is the name is so cool because, like, you know what? When I'm thinking about so many movies, and I always think about teleporting, right? So when I heard that they were called Teleport, I was like, "Damn, this is crazy!" Like, all right, cool. Let's see what they're about. And from what I've seen from the music videos and just the fashion statement that they put out, and what they're about, I think they're a cool duo. So give it up for Teleport, man.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to start with that. Like, why the name Teleport?
Well, nobody else really had done anything, with that. We love movies, and we want to teleport people to different times and places with our music.
Yeah.
And
Something that says you're not boxed in, you're not in one place forever. You're moving around. You're instant traveling everywhere.
Right. And we had come up with the name to be just so that it could be like, kind of like a USB. You're teleporting, but then it's also like teleport.
This is a bunch of people in a room talking to the computer.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like our journey,
Yeah.
teleporting through time on the internet too. It's kind of a double meaning a little bit.
Yeah. You know what? I love that because when I did a little bit of research on you guys, I do realize that you lot do different type of music. You don't stick to like just one particular sound. You do essentially, you have the audiences teleporting to all different music. And I think that's dope. And is that something that's important?
Ourselves in.
Was that something that was important to you guys when it came to making music, making sure that, you don't stick to one sound and, you dibble and dabble in different genres?
Yes, it's very important to us because we just feel like time and life in general doesn't really work that way, where it's just one thing. And we think it's cool, like one thing, but it's not a knock on anyone. It's just for us, what makes us feel the best is we can freely kind of create something with a general theme, but kind of move around in a little bit of the space.
Yeah, just not boxed in.
And we really worked hard to kind of hone that sound and be able to create something to where it made sense and we could present it to people where it resonates.
And I think lyrically, you can tell it's teleport, even if the music's different and some of the sounds are different. I think it's all like a story that we're telling. So
I want to ask as well because I noticed in a few of your videos you guys wear the mask, or particularly you wear the mask. Is that something that's part of the branding, or like what's that all about? Because I think that's pretty cool.
For us, the mask, it's more symbolism of, we're exploring certain themes throughout the album.
The toxicity of environments.
So there's double things. Some things are uncomfortable. We want to cover up our insecurity and the things we don't feel comfortable talking about. So loving yourself is something you open. It can come across as, or stale, and we don't think it should be that. But wearing the mask kind of says, we have the courage to put it out there regardless.
Right.
And
support with them.
Plus they look cool. So it works both ways.
I think for us, like when you see us without masks, it's because we feel safe and we're not in a toxic environment. And then whenever we do have the masks on, we're teleporting. Something that you guys will see is that we're telling stories in between these music videos, is that we are going to come out with like a series of in between short clips that will lead you out and lead you into the next music video. And we're going to put out Letter to the Travelers too, with the mask and then without it, of why we use the masks and whatnot. So, but visual.
Okay. That's dope, man. Something important that I think you mentioned was, being able to love yourself. And I think the conversation, I say particularly within men as well, is we don't really like talking about insecurities, whether that could be the size that we're at, particularly if you're searching for a woman, or if you're into same sex, searching for what you're feeling. how important do you think it is to be able to, you know, love yourself and find yourself and, you know, knowing just who you are?
That's like a beacon, man, that reflects out to the world and everything else. You know, people put out, reflect hate into the world and cause more hate and pain, and we want to be the opposite. We want to be the beacon of light and just sharing your feelings.
Yeah, and like for me personally, you know, both of us were always the outcasts growing up. You know, we kept to ourselves, and we were always kind of, you know, told not to be expressive, not by our families, but more so with, you know, just the outside environment. When you're different, they see you guys, it's not a good thing. But really loving yourself is important. Because you don't love yourself, you only have one you. You know what I'm saying? You can't go back in time. You go back in time and teleport yourself. You can't teleport your body. You know, like you are. So you should love every single version, even if you're bettering that version. Every single version should be loved and given that care, in our opinion.
No, actually, I always say you can't love somebody else if you can't love yourself first. So that's what I always say.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. I want to talk about this music video. Don't wait. Actually, you know what? First of all, I need that jumper, right? So let me know where to find that. I think the jumper was dope. The hoodie.
Shout out to Firahs because we want them to sponsor us so bad. We tagged them and everything, but like they never repost. But love Firahs and love Brito. It's
and
like
the artist, the artist he's a Miami artist. He's really, really big over here. His name is Romero Brito, and we actually met him at
big everywhere.
We met him at an art. We're super into art, and
he probably wouldn't remember.
Get the chance to meet him. So yeah, those hoodies they're fire, man.
They're fire, man.
Yeah,
and you know what I liked about the song "Don't Wait" as well. It had that like really fun element to it. Was that something that you were trying to bring up with that single?
Yes, we kind of went back and forth on whether we wanted to mouth the words, and we just couldn't figure out a way to do it without it coming across some
like
type
cheesy.
of way.
We didn't want it to be. And we also wanted to introduce Teleport, like cause we're gonna wear the mask a lot, and it's not the same mask.
Yeah, we're kind of just gonna we're just making it up as we go. So we wanted to kind of introduce that fun, and we're doing the kids games and like
that was fun,
parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what it is to love yourself, is going back to doing things that you used to love to do. When all the weights of the world didn't matter to you, and it's kind of just reconnecting with that part of yourself and realizing it didn't go away. You just got a little bit older, you know. It's okay. It's okay. It's like a pat on the back.
And how did this single come about? So whose idea was it to kind of create this single, and who wrote the track? And
great story.
So yeah, I mean, he produces all the music. Sometimes I'll come up with melodies in my head. He'll recreate it into a beat. But it was funny because he was creating something on his way home. I was creating something in my own car on our way home. And then when we got there, like together all. We had ESP because whenever we saw each other, it was like, oh, wait, I have something I want to show you. It was like, oh, I have something I want to show you. And we're like, you go first. And then we started singing. It was the exact same melody. He showed me this really cool beat he had come up with. Then I showed him like some lyrics and some melodies. It just, within 10 minutes, that song was written. Like we
finished it that night. It was really smooth. And
it was just an easy song to write.
They're not all like that. They don't all come together that fast. But this one was, we're all like, the music's easy. It's we did it.
I think it was like, and I wanted to write a song too that was like about self-reflection, because it's funny, not a lot of people get it. Like you got it the first time, loving yourself, like, you know. And I haven't seen me in a while. You know, I know they tease. We're talking about ourselves. Like we tease ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves. But then when I find you, which is myself, or his self, or anybody that's listening to the song, it just feels good to find yourself again. And it's just like a rebirth song kind of for us. And our manager felt like it was a good song to start with off the album, just because it's happy and it's you know, like a song to dance to and stuff. So.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it's a very good thing. It's a hit and it's fun. I always think the first song you bring up from any album, the first song should always be a reflection of what the album may sound like, and also a reflection of the artist that you lot are trying to portray as well. And I think you both do that perfectly. I think even you two together in a video looks like it's great fun. I mean, I'm thinking, bro, I need this kind of relationship. It just looks fun. I want to ask you guys as well, like working together, how is that? Like, does somebody take the lead? Is it like 50-50? And like, if you ever have dispute, how do you not deal with that?
Feud. we both had sometimes.
We just did a cover called by the I Want to Dance with Somebody, the Whitney Houston cover.
Oh yeah.
And we had an argument about because I'm all about like
like we'll have arguments about sounds. Like, no, I don't like that one. Like, choose a different
I was like, no, I need
or...
these retro bells. And she's like, no, I want this sound. And then so I come back and I'm like, all right, look, I got the bells and then I got what you wanted.
But like we don't really like really quick.
They're
like
creative differences. We just work through those creative differences and find a compromise quickly because we're all about solving problems. Sitting there being mad and getting isn't helping.
It's very 50-50 though. Like nobody does more than the other. We both write. We both do the music.
Produce. I mean, we both. Might be sitting there doing programming it, but she's telling me if it sounds bad, she'll tell me.
He doesn't want to be like front and center. And a lot of people don't know this, but like Stevie's on every track. Like even if you always hear the female louder than the male, but like his vocals are on every single track, and we're like neck and neck, turned up the same level. He has a really high tone, and like in some of the songs you'll hear him more prominent than me or whatnot, and he'll rap in some of them.
Don't wait's like a murmur. You can hear it like I am in scene.
Yeah.
We're one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're
not perfect though by any means.
But yeah, I like that she's front center, and I like kind of just being in the back thing. But I still
he tries to be.
I tried to be, But I still want people to hear our stuff and think it's dope. Like this paradox.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I can't wait to hear the album. You know what? I obviously I saw as well that you lot grew up in Texas.
Yes.
Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Yes. So for people who are from London, me included, obviously, what would you say Texas is like? Like, what's that state like? How is it going up there? What's the food? What's the living like? Oh, how is it down there?
It's Spurs. And dust.
Some places. We grew up in a suburban area. We grew up in a city called Flower Mound, Texas.
Yeah.
It's outside of. It's about 10 minutes from Dallas.
So from like the main city. So I mean, we grew up around all like kind of like the arts, the music stuff. Like it was very, modernized. Yeah. Now we do have family that does live in like the countryside. So we actually are coming back from Missouri right now, visiting some places my grandmother wanted. So we're on our bus, but we definitely do have some like cowboy boots and hats and stuff, but like for the most part,
it's not right.
Spurs, but just depends on like where you go. Honestly, in Texas.
Yeah, it's true.
If you're looking for like experience, you would probably go to like
Fort Worth. They got the
yeah.
stockyards, so that's very country, and they got the boots and the line.
I guess the question is, do we sound like we're from Texas?
Yeah, do we have heavy like Texas accents?
Because we don't hear it.
No, I wouldn't say that. No.
No?
I wouldn't say that. No, call me old fashioned, but I'm thinking of that. Oh, howdy and all that.
Yeah.
I was like,
we just got off our horse to come do this interview with you.
Rode her horseback, stopped at the well on the way, and got some fresh water.
Yeah. There are some people that live like that though, still.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. But it's funny. Every time you see a commercial with Texas, it's just like that. They show like this old Western country, and I'm like, I mean, it's a huge state, man. There's places like that, but not where we're from. We're closer to the metropolitan area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's more big cities.
I respect that. That's dope, man. You don't have any plans to reach the UK anytime soon?
We want to.
We would
love to travel.
That's one place I really want to go because y'all have such a culture and music on both sides. You're the hip hop side, but also like the alternative side. You guys, the Beatles, but for me particularly, like the Kooks and the Strokes and the Arctic Monkeys and the 1975. I vibed on that heavy when I was younger, and you know, so it's
So
so cool, and like you guys sound so cool.
Yeah,
and,
y'all
yeah.
sound.
Nah, I can't wait. So yeah, listen, if you don't ever come down, man, we've got to link up properly, man, for real, face to face. Come on. I wanna, yeah, I wanna ask you guys, how did you lot know that you two would work so well together?
We didn't. Well, actually, you know, we separate artists, and then everybody would always say, because like we would do like live shows together. I would sing at his shows, or he would play the guitar and sing and rap at mine. And
we even used to do an acoustic set at House of Blues in LA a lot. We'd play. It was a guitar, and it was just her. She would sing, and
it's like an unplugged set. But everybody would always say like, "You guys should do stuff together," and we're like, "Yeah, you know, whatever." We really didn't.
But this sound was special because it wasn't anything that I had done before, and it wasn't anything that she had done before. And so it's just.
He was like making. This is literally how we became Teleport.
Yeah.
One night he was making this beat. I walk over. I was like, "Hey, let me hear that." I stuck on the headphones, and all of a sudden, I just had this like idea. I was like, "Dude, like it would be dope as shit. Like we would be so dope together on this track."
She goes, "We should start a band."
Yeah, I was like, "We should start a band." Like what? And then I was like, "Yeah, let's be in a band." He's like, "Okay, I'm down." So then we sat there for like 30 minutes. Like, what are we gonna name ourselves? You know, there's a lot of people that have like different cool names that are kind of the same, but like we came up with Teleport, spelled it different, and it just kind of worked. And
we do
the music just clicked really quick.
We do have a feel, right? But I think the main thing that sets us apart is we're not traditional in the sense of like most electronic music, because we're really trying to capture that cinematic feel. And that everything about you think of soundtracks even into the 90s with, you know, like Maverick coming out with Top Gun
or Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Songs are just as iconic as the work of art itself, and we wanted to capture that as artists and be like, you know, no one's really taken their own music and created that kind of cinematic theme, and I think that it feel cool, and you can tell real stories.
Even when the music changes, I will say you can definitely tell when it's a Teleport track, and just based on the lyrics, but also it's like a vibe. You'll see, but it really is.
Yeah, we can't wait for you to hear it.
But it's nothing like "Don't Wait." Like that's what's so funny. Everybody's like, "Oh, you know, don't sound like this on the album." Like it doesn't sound anything. They're all so different. There's 12 tracks on the album.
They all work together. It's not like you're gonna really feel out of place. They all have the same kind of, you know, they're like children, man. Like, you know, not all the brothers. They all
no, I think that's cool. No, I think that's really cool, man. Obviously, the album is called Better Together. Yes. Do we have a release date as of yet?
We know for sure it's going to be released this year, 2022. It'll probably be later in the year that we release it. But our next single, we're actually shooting the music video for tomorrow, is going to be called Disco. And Disco comes out July 1st with the music video.
Disco's a banger. That one's upbeat. It's hard hitting. It leans more towards the synthwave electronic a little bit more, but it's very nice in the club. I think people are gonna like it.
We'll also be releasing
wait to hear that one.
Monologue to let travelers, kind of just expressing how we became Teleport. And as we get in more into the story, we're gonna backdate it and you know where we come from.
Once we get a bigger budget,
we need a bigger budget, but for now
music videos and all of that, it's expensive, isn't it? And then you got the PR and this and that. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that people don't even know. They don't even know. They just feel, oh, you make a song and you go big. It's not like that.
Everyone wants to live that dream, and the world loves it. But so many people work so hard to make people look good, man.
Right.
And I hope that I shine the light on that as well, and realize that we're all people connecting, and it's not about one person being bigger than the other. It's that we're all alive in this time where you have access to everything. You know
I think what we hope for, what we hope for as like Teleport is when we really get into this, you know, story of us being actual teleporters, is that we want to take other artists too and be able to collab with them and like teleport time to where when you see teleport, yes, you know, like, oh shit, it's them. Like we could go, you know, to the dinosaur time. You know, we're talking like
what the artist this time, or oh, I want to be in the 80s, or a guy like Anderson .Paak, obviously.
But once you teleport, you're always a teleporter. Yeah. And so we're gonna create these characters.
And that's why it's we are teleport. It's we right now, but that it's eventually a we thing, that people can find themselves, their own individuality through our stories and write their own stories.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I think you lot are one of the coolest people I've ever spoken to. I just think the way you speak and, you know, the way that you even, you know, portray yourself and the message you lot are spreading, I think is really beautiful, and I completely respect that. Like, yeah, I fuck with you guys, man. Heavy. I wanted to ask, where do you see Teleport in 5 years? Do you know? Are you hoping to be around the Grammys, or you know, do you want to have 3 or 4 albums out? Like, where do you not want to be in 5 years time from today?
I think everybody that's an artist hopes for movies, right?
We won't say no. We won't say no to the.
But I think we're different, right? I think we both want to be able to play for humongous crowds and to see everybody in a teleporter mask and come out, and it's just like a vibe with a bunch of lights lit up and lasers coming out and smoke. Like, I think we want to travel with our music. Create a movement.
I think the awards are great, the recognition, but if it doesn't have the impact on people, like music, we're here because we do music, and people impacted us enough to be like, this is what we got to do with our time all the time, and we want to lucky enough to have that impact on someone else that can do something even greater than us. You know, that's
we're gonna try our best. If we can do that in
5 years, that'd be great. If it takes 10 or 15, we'll keep it moving. You know what I mean?
I think if you know a Dream-esque kind of goal would to be, hopefully they don't sign artists like they used to, but hopefully to be signed to have a humongous budget, winning grants, playing shows, seeing you in person, being able to travel.
Of course,
You gotta show us, you know, around your town, and that's what I'm saying. So, like Fast and the Furious, where they have a connect everywhere, and they're like,
maybe even be in I want to be in a movie. Teleport. It would be so dope to be in a movie too. Like, that's kind of a dream of mine.
The sky's the limit. It's so open that we open to possibility, and I think that's what life is, and I think that's what's given our hope, is that when you're a kid, you dream of possibility. You're growing up, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that. You don't have to.
We're just doing it.
You don't have to do that when you grow up. You just have to find a way to make it to where you can do it. Yeah. Nah,
I rate that, man. Honestly, listen, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to have a little 20 minutes conversation with me today. I would leave you guys with this, right? I always like to do some weird endings. I don't know why I do it all the time. So I'm about to carry on with it. So I would say, if you guys want to go on a ride, get a teleport, because you're going to be doing better things together when the album comes out. Cool, that works, right? But no, thank you. Obviously, this has been your boy Firahs. This is Teleport. Thank you again for tuning in. Big shout out to Sophie for putting it on with Music in Motion PR as well. And then Joe, shout out to Joe for looking after his 4 children while we're having this interview. And man, hopefully look out to see you guys again soon. And since this is a pre-record, so for everybody that's listening live on radio right now, coming up next is Teleport. Don't wait. Get your Shazams ready if you haven't got it on your playlist already, but make sure you go to every streaming platform. YouTube video is out right now as well. It will be in the description if you're watching this on the YouTube after the radio, so you can catch all the information, all their Instagrams, everything you need to know about Teleport is there. So everybody get your masks ready and let's celebrate with Teleport.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, cheers, man. Enjoy the rest of your day and stuff.
Keep in touch. We'll send you a teleport map.
I'm gonna follow you guys on Instagram straight after this.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Damn, my kids.
Have a great time. That comes out of nowhere to date my kids,
All right.
All right, take care.
Been tuned into the streets session with your boy Firahs and
Joe MK.
Why is this the name of our show, bro?
Because we're the hottest in the streets.
Catch us online, on the go, and on the FM.
Okay, let's go.